Our topic today is what do we do to prevent the death of our humanity? And what we do to prevent the death of our humanity and the death of humanity is the most effective and powerful and potent response, one that we offer with full hallelujah. And hallelujah is both holy and broken at the same time. We are in the first week of 2026, and it's been a wild weekend in the world on many, many, many levels. And no, I'm not going to talk about any of that, but I'm going to talk about being free, right? I'm not going to talk about what happened in Venezuela this weekend, as though it's worth talking about. I'm not going to talk about it because I need to think about it and feel into it and read about it more. There's what to say immediately, but I'd like to digest it a little more. It's a poignant and unimaginably important moment. But the one thing that I do want to say is the world is so dramatically changing. And when I said 10 years ago and 15 years ago, the world that we know and recognize is not going to be the world, right, of the future. And people would kind of look at me and kind of say, hey, just stick to the Dharma, man. Just teach us about unique self. Don't tell us about this other stuff because what do you know? And sadly, we did know something. I didn't speak irresponsibly. The world of our grandparents, even of our parents, even the world that we grew up in is not the world that the world is going to become. And in response to the world naturally devolving, actually becoming something which is out of alignment with itself, which has the definitive and clear potential to end badly, meaning for this to be the last generation of humanity, I believe that is a viable possibility. I mean, even that I can say that, viable possibility, 10% chance that could happen. That's insane, right? If I had 10% chance, 10%, no, that's insane. It is a viable possibility on multiple levels. It's also a viable possibility, significantly higher than 10%, I'd say above 50%, that we don't experience the death of humanity, but the death of our humanity, and that actually what it means to be human is lost. And then we become some substandard version of ourselves, some lowest common denominator version of ourselves. And that would be as tragic. Not even clear to me which is more tragic, the death of humanity or the death of our humanity, especially if the death of our humanity is locked in. It's called a lock-in, a values lock-in. It's locked in because of the structural nature of a kind of super intelligence. Beyond AGI, artificial general intelligence, the next stage is some version of a super intelligence, which if gained by one party in the world, has the potential, as Will MacAskill wrote well in the first chapter of his book on this topic, could actually create a values lock-in that could last 2,000 years. None of that's our topic today. Our topic today is what do we do to prevent the death of our humanity? And what we do to prevent the death of our humanity and the death of humanity is the most effective and powerful and potent response, one that we offer with full hallelujah.
If you enjoy studying with Dr. Marc Gafni, then I have a fantastic opportunity with you. On January 25th, 2026, Dr. Marc Gafni is starting his next live course. This course is going to be on the 3 stations of transformation, from pre-tragic to tragic to post-tragic. Now, this framework of pre-tragic, tragic, post-tragic is pretty much the key to evolving in every single aspect of your life. That may sound a little wild when you first hear it, but when you observe reality at its deepest, you see that there are patterns in how things evolve, and they go through these 3 stations, from pre-tragic to tragic to post-tragic. If you are interested in learning the meta to how to evolve your life in every dimension, whether it's love, whether it's business, whether it's your relationship to God and nature itself, whatever it is, this course is going to lay out the map that can help you do that no matter what aspect of life you're learning about. Now, this course has a slight focus in the pre-tragic, tragic, and post-tragic when we're talking about our wounds, the wounds that we carry emotionally, physically from our entire life. How do we actually overcome the patterns within ourselves that are caused by deep wounding? So that is going to be one of the focuses in this course, but it's going to go over much more than just that. So if you're excited and sparked by this idea of a course, then you should 100% come and join. So go click the link in the description if you would like to join. There's also 2 ways that you can join this class. You can either join it as a one-time purchase, or you can join our online educational community and save a lot of money. By joining the community, you will also get access to quarterly deep dive courses with Dr. Marc Gafni, a whole library of pre-recorded courses. You will also get access to things like daily prayer and community events, a book club. There's so much amazing stuff going on in the community, and whenever we're running these courses, it's a beautiful time for you to not only save money on the course, but also get to test out all of the other community features and then stick around if you would like to. So I highly suggest you join the community and save some money and join this course. It's going to be awesome, and I hope to see you there. Without further ado, enjoy the rest of this episode with Dr. Marc Gafni.
And hallelujah is both holy and broken at the same time. Holy. It's all, right? It's all already gorgeous. It's already true. It's already good. It's already beautiful, right? That world that is waiting to be born has already been born. And we're already living in the world in which all of the seeds of the good, the true, and the beautiful are there. And we're living in a world of unimaginable beauty. We're living in a world in which billions of good things happen every day. Billions of people do billions of beautiful things every day. The world's held together by fabrics of the good, the true, and the beautiful. And so we're poised between a potential utopia, a potential unimaginably beautiful world, and, right, at the same time, the seeds of destruction, the seeds of tearing apartness, right? The seeds of a world whose story is rivalrous conflict governed by win-lose metrics, is the governing story in the world over, which generates systems that are not resilient but efficient. But when the efficiency breaks down, which it always does, right, for a series of reasons, then the world becomes fragile beyond imagination. We've not built in anti-fragility. We haven't built in anti-fragility in interiors, meaning we have no real reason to exist other than existence itself. We have no cause. We have no field of value. We have no field of goodness, truth, and beauty. We have no vision that allures us. We have no sense of responsibility to each individual, irreducibly beautiful soul quality, right, that needs our devotion, needs our service. That's alluring. That draws us in. That gives us resilience. And its resilience is not only a technological resilience or a physical structure resilience, right, or an infrastructure resilience or a social structure resilience. We need superstructure resilience. Does that make sense? I mean, that's exactly what the poet meant when he said, when I have a sense of who I am, and I have a sense of where I am and what's mine to do, then I can actually bear with and live through almost any circumstance. But if I lose, right, that knowing, right, then even the slightest circumstance can destroy me, and I become lost as a hypersensitive self, right, and I'm overwrought and undone by virtually anything and everything. Does that make sense? Okay, so we need to become resilient. We need to become resilient. Is that okay? We need to become resilient. And resilient means we've got to root ourselves in a vision of truth and of goodness and of beauty. Or said differently, we have to root ourselves in the field of value itself. We're in the field of value itself. And in the field of value is purpose. And the field of value is direction. And the field of value is invitation. And the field of value is allurement. We are allured to value. And the field of value is desire. And our deepest clarified desire, our deepest heart's desire is for the most possible value. So the clarification of desire and the clarification of allurement and the being drawn towards value and drawn towards depth and drawn towards wholeness. And this new story of value that we've been talking about for a decade, and we've talked about this story of value many times as a new story of wholeness. So those are words that have emerged here between us, this new story of value, this new story of wholeness. I actually saw a couple of days ago that a particular organization picked up our term. The gentleman who was running it very sweetly, wrote in a footnote that he read our work, and I know he's familiar deeply with One Mountain. I was really excited to see that someone picked up the term new story of wholeness, new story of value that we've been using here, and they actually just launched a whole initiative based on it. That's fantastic. That's awesome. That's beautiful. Right? That's what we should do. Let it spread. Right? Let the vision spread. Right? Let's have 1,000 other people pick it up and do their version of it. But stay inside. Stay deep inside. Stay deep inside the field of value. Stay deep inside love. But not love just as a word. Love as an ethical, interpersonal ethic. We love each other. We hold each other. Details matter. Love isn't the details. Love's in true integrity, not in posturing. Okay, so let's see if we can find this here, okay? So in order to create the future world, what do we need to do? We need to be free to create that world. Okay, so let's start. Are we ready? Are we ready? We have an intention. What's our intention? We're poised between utopia and dystopia. We're here to play a larger game. We're here to tell a new story of value. And as I shared in a beautiful dialogue with Ken and Zach, right? Ken, Zach, and I were talking, right? Value and wholeness are the same thing. Wholeness means value. New wholeness means new value. New value means new wholeness. In the first principle and first value, right, of value itself, or of Eros itself. So Eros is Eros value. Eros is the experience of radical aliveness, desiring ever deeper contact and ever greater wholeness, which is itself ever more value. That is the Eros equation of cosmorotic humanism. That's the Eros formulation, meaning a new story of value and a new story of wholeness are the same thing. And value and wholeness are interchangeable, but not isomorphic exactly. They have different fragrances. Value has one fragrance. What's the value of fragrance is almost like the value of fragrance, and the fragrance of value has an ethos to it. Does that make sense? It's got an ethos. It's got an ought to it. Wholeness has this kind of just robust sense of fullness. Do you feel the difference between the two? You have slightly different fragrances, slightly different kind of mesmeric effects. They have different, but they together become an inter-included word. So Eros is the experience of radical aliveness, desiring ever deeper contact and ever greater wholeness, which itself is ever greater, ever more value. And so in order to respond to the meta crisis, we need a new story of value, which is a new story of wholeness. And that's what we've been saying here for like 2009, 10, some version of, right? It's like, and we keep repeating it, so we'll get it one day, right? Just for ourselves, right? We keep repeating it, so we'll get it, right? I keep saying things over and over again because eventually I think I might get it, right? It's not for y'all, it's just for me. I'm slow, right? It takes time. You got to repeat something again and again, and each time you repeat it anew, and each time it's fresh, and each time it's original, and then it kind of, it opens a new groove, and it goes deeper, and it enriches, okay?